Here is the 2024 BMW 330i Sedan in Portimao blue metallic over black Sensatec interior. This has the M Sport package, which makes it look similar to an M340i, but you're not getting the performance underneath the hood. I'm going to tell you why this is going to be the sweet spot in pricing, some pros and cons, and the big problem that I have with the 3. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and the more sleek box setup, because of the LCI that we received last year, which was a mid-cycle refresh, comes into play. The active kidney grille gets the gloss black elements going into a full LED headlamp assembly, and the lower air vents is all going to be opened up with front parking sensors. When you're going M Sport, you're not just getting the gloss black elements in the front, you're also getting these upgraded 19-inch wheels, which is a 225/40 on all four corners. M Sport suspension, which will make it a little bit more rigid. Now underneath the hood, it's not going to be a sleeper, but it is the 2.0-liter BMW twin-powered turbo inline four-cylinder that produces 255 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque, paired to an 8-speed sport automatic transmission. Tick the box for the X-Drive. It's a couple grand more. It'll save you 0.2 seconds on that 0 to 60. This is going to reach it at 5.6 seconds. Top speed at 130 miles per hour, but because we have the M Sport package, it unlocks 155 miles per hour, achieving 25 mpgs for the city, 34 mpgs for the highway. But when we're comparing this against rivals, Audi's going to be the fastest, whether you tick an A4 or an A5. It's going to match the Mercedes, but it's faster, and the Genesis will have the more horsepower and torque in class. But none of those rivals will have a 51.2, 49.8 weight distribution, which means you could take bends in this vehicle. By no means this is track worthy, but it's still going to be fast enough. If you need more speed, you go to the M340i, which will unlock 382 horsepower, dropping the 0 to 60 at 4.4 seconds, which is a completely different engine. But what I like when you're getting into the base 3, it's a little bit over $2,500 to get the M340i aesthetic look. Trunk lit spoiler, LED taillights. The lower gets the diffuser with the dual exhaust outlets, reverse sensors, and a reverse camera. Going back to the rivals, a few tenths of a second from Audi to this is not going to change the ball game, considering this is going to look a lot more aggressive than the Audi in a base trim. Quick release going into 17 cubic feet of storage with a storage nook on both sides. Split fold the rear bench in the back at a 60/40 split. Bag holders. And this is going to increase the cargo capacity to the 330i Sedan. But we need to go inside, start it up, so you can hear that exhaust note. 12-way power seat adjustment, manual cushion extensions, memory for the driver. The dashboard starts off with the ambient lighting, satin aluminum, oak wood trim, BMW's curved one-panel, two-screen setup, which has a 14.9 infotainment screen with wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio, Amazon Alexa, iDrive 8.5, and switching to reverse, we got the reverse camera with trajectory, dual climate control settings, open up the oak wood into a wireless charging pad, 12-volt USB, and the key fob for the 330i Sedan. The rocker that was implemented last year, satin aluminum, that's going to wrap around everything. It's going to be more sport derived. That opens up into a USB and a long storage pocket. M-spec steering wheel, leather wrap, multi-function with adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, the paddle shifts, and a 12.3 digital gauge cluster that can go through an array of content, including your turn-by-turn navigation, and you can also change the layout to make it a little bit more usable for the navigation or your sound system. The dashboard and the door panels can figure in together. It's going to be more of the everyday materials found up top. You get the ambient lighting, It's going to be more sporty. One touch up and down for all the windows. Storage pocket that you can fit a large beverage, as you can see, with a auto-dimming rear view mirror and a moonroof for the front. Headroom, which is carved out for you. I like this because if you're tall and you have to adjust, you have plenty of room, which you'll see in a second. No storage beyond any of the front seats. No storage beyond any of the front seats. Your third climate control setting, USB ports, cup holders with an armrest, and the door panel will have the same segment with the ambient lighting, satin aluminum, sporty where you rest your arm, and a large storage pocket with the same beverage holder. Sliding into the center, because it's a 3, it's going to be a little bit tight, but it's still doable. You're going to be sharing a little bit of feet space, butt and shoulder space a little bit more so. But headroom, like I was saying on the side, it's carved out, so it's not a problem for anyone over 6 foot tall. 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 5.6 seconds. It's not the X-Drive, so it will get a little rear happy. We have tire shine, so that's why I'm slowing down pretty hard. Because when you're in a BMW, it does have a bit more of that confident feel when you're taking the bins, because it's a near 50-50 weight distribution. The X-Drive will handle just a touch better, and you'll also get that 0 to 60 about 0.2 seconds quicker. Let's stop right here so we can actually see that 0 to 60 unleashed. Now the exhaust note that filters in is through the iconic sounds. You could turn that on or off if you do not like to hear an exhaust note. She handles good. And on the exit, it's a smooth driving vehicle. This is going to be more of getting your feet wet with the brand. So you're not going to be going crazy, but you can still do performance. And that's why I like BMW, because they tick the box for a fun drive and a luxurious drive. That's going to take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros is when they did the LCI, they made it look a lot more aggressive. When you add the M Sport package, it looks like an M340i, in which it's not a sleeper underneath the hood by all means, but you're getting over a second quicker 0 to 60. It's a completely different engine. It's still one of the fastest in class. And when you're hovering right at 50 grand to get this style and to get the M Sport suspension, that's a pretty good blend when you're thinking of pricing against Audi, Mercedes, or even Genesis. Some cons is you don't get any upgrades in performance. You do have to step up a tier, in which it's going to cost you about $5,000 to $10,000, especially if you wanted to have any specs at all, in which once you start speccing it out, you're almost at an M variant. So you have to be careful when you're going into the M340i. When you're going into the 3 Series, I would personally option it just like this. I wouldn't go crazy. Definitely add that M Sport Pro package. Now BMW traditionally is going to be a little bit more of a rigid drive. So don't expect it to be so soft, but the seat cushions are soft and the cushion extensions help for tall people. As for the width, it's going to be a little bit more tighter than a 5, but this is also a 3 Series, so you're expecting to have more of a sporty feel in the interior of this, whereas the 5 and the 7 start getting more luxurious. Don't get me wrong, you can get some performance variants out of the 5 and the 7, in which will make this a lot slower, but then you're also increasing the price by nearly 20 grand. Another con to me, when you're in sport mode, the auto start stop still works, which I kind of wanted to have the engine funnel through a little bit because I'm in sport mode. I get it when I'm in comfort or eco, do that so that way save some fuel. Even though you're low to the ground, you still have plenty of visibility because the way the seat sits in the vehicle. The windscreen is large enough, but it sports that sporty vibe. And the side windows are also large, even though they look sleek on the exterior. So overall, for safety, I feel BMW done a good job. The big problem or con that I have with the 330i is it's not the fastest variant, which typically BMW is. When you get into an M Sport variant or a full-blown M, it's the best in class with weight distribution, performance numbers, or at least the 0 to 60 quarter mile in top speeds, in which Audi actually beats it in this tier. Now step it up to the S or the RS on the Audi. Now you're going to be slower than the M Sport and the M variant. So that's why I feel like they just kind of given the performance, but they didn't unlock the full potential in the 3 Series, which usually when people are looking at a 330i, I typically tell them you might want to look at the M240i, because then you got the sweet spot in performance. It's a 2-door variant, but you still have seats in the back. If you need 4 doors and you need more of that sedan drive, this is where you go. You can still get the fun, but the all-around performance and fun will start in that variant and then going up to the M340i. The sound deadening, it's pretty good. They seal up the vehicle quite well. The steering is going to be a little bit more artificial, more for your everyday drive. And to throw it into sport mode is relatively simple. You just simply push the button. Turn radius becomes about 2 lanes. Downshift 1. Now, because this is the 4-cylinder, is it going to have a little bit of lag? Because of the horsepower that's coming out of it, it will when you're coming from, 20, 30 mile per hour speed. But when you're coming off the line, it's not going to have hardly any lag at all, and you can unlock a launch control by just simply holding the brake and push the gas pedal. It's going to boost to about 2.5 RPMs, then let go, and the car will just kind of take off for you. So when you're thinking, well, is it going to be enough power at a 50 grand price point? It is. Even Mercedes has the same performance numbers, but this is faster. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank BMW of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2024 BMW 330i for our car review.